So to me, this is astonishing. As a Romanian, I find it deeply offensive that the current leaders of a country like Germany thinks that this is the correct way of doing democracy. I mean, these individuals have a lot of say in the European Union, which also has a lot of say in Romania. And this, to me, is horrifying. Like, we already been through communism. We already benefited from dictatorships. And we unironically don't want any more of those. It is okay, dear German leaders. I know you love your seats. Like, I know you absolutely enjoy being in power and leeching off the taxpayer dough. But in a democratic society, it's okay. It's okay if you lose an election. It happens, okay? And then you get your seat back if you manage to convince the voter next election. But these individuals, they like a democracy where people have the chance to vote, and as long as the people vote for the correct parties, then the democracy gets to continue. But the moment people vote for the incorrect parties, well, we need to stop the game. We need to stop the game and tinker a little bit with the system. So basically what is freaking them out is the fact that the AFD is getting 24% of the votes. Okay? Now, if you manage to take down the AFD, like you're saying, so like here you have an example, right? You have that AFD ban proceedings are possible. Like, they're even thinking about it. Like, this is what I find obscene and bizarre. It's probably worse than the boot sex in the American Senate. Like, that's just done by two individuals who, just like, okay, well, the Senate is the place where you thought it should, okay. But like, this is done by a group of people, and they're both thinking, yeah, like, this is democratic, this is definitely fine. Here's the question. Let's assume that you have an issue with the AFD, right? You have the issue with the human beings that are in the charge of the AFD. Like, you don't like that this guy is a Nazi, this guy said something offensive, this guy did something bad. Okay, fine. Like, the individuals are the problem. But the ideology, I assume, is okay, right? Because it represents 25% of your people. Like, 25% of the voters in Germany want to be represented. And you're saying, no, it's okay if a quarter of our country doesn't get any representation. This is a democracy. How is it possible? The thing that really annoys me is that here in Eastern Europe, you have Viktor Orban doing his thing, and you have, like, the Polish people doing their thing, and every single time the European Union, we're very concerned. Concerned about corruption in Eastern Europe. Concerned about Romania. We're concerned. I'm concerned about Germany. Can we be concerned for once about Germany? Is there ever a reason why European countries can be concerned about what's happening in Germany? Didn't you guys manage to hospitalize leaders of the AFD there? Like, is that not concerning whatsoever? And I'll give you something else. You have the Greens. The Grüne. Their entire life seems to revolve around how to fuck with the farmers, right? Like, how to lower my living standard a little bit more. How to tax people more. How to make the quality of life less bearable, right? Like, how to increase the energy costs. By the way, like, who came up with the idea of having a pipeline from Russia to Germany? And they were mocking Donald Trump when he said, it's like, you're in NATO, aren't you? Like, the whole purpose of NATO is to keep Russia in check. Like, if something kicks off with Russia, where are you going to get your energy from? Right? Who are the individuals that managed to shut down nuclear power in Germany? Why aren't they being considered extremists? Like, it is interesting, right? So like, if you're in the far left and you're advocating for, like, the worst type of, I don't know, environmentalism possible, where you're even saying stuff like people shouldn't have kids anymore, right? Because we need to preserve the earth. And the question would be like, well, preserve it for whom? Preserve it for whom? Like, if you don't have kids, right? Preserve it for whom? But no comment about rich people flying with their private jets. No comments about rich people driving their yachts or whatever. Do you swim your yacht? You drive your yacht. Driving their yachts around, like, that's fine, it's just like the average Joe. It's me. People like you. People like your mother. We are the problem, right? So when you finally have, like, people, what? Enough with this shit. Like, why should my living standard keep going down? I mean, they're not talking about China, which is, like, the world's biggest polluter. They're not talking about these other countries. They're taking gas from Russia, and yet my living standard needs to constantly go down. So I'm going to vote for someone else. And when you vote for someone else, well, actually, no, that's not allowed. So how is it a democracy then? I mean, I genuinely think they have managed to invent the concept of authoritarian democracy. This is a concept that I saw in Romania, much to my horror and dismay. It was at Eurovision. I said this story a couple of times, but I believe that ever since, there have been new subscribers. So I can tell you the story again. Eurovision is a competition, allegedly, which is a far-left radical organization that happens to do a little bit of singing. And Romania did have a person competing. She was a religious girl that was singing at the choir. She had a very beautiful voice. I think she was 17 at the time. And the public loved her. Like, everyone was voting for her, right? Like, you give an SMS, you give a text message, you get a vote. In Romania, there was a referendum, which, like in Romania, gay marriages are already illegal by law. It's from the communists. You know, they gave us that wisdom. Like, the communists came in and they would arrest every single gay person. And, you know, we toned it back down ever since, right? We were not as communistic and we're not as left-leaning as we used to be. We're a little bit more far right now. So gay people can have relationships. I think if they even go in France and they get married and then they come to Romania, the marriage is still being recognized. It's just that they can't get married here, right? So we had the referendum about it. We had the referendum. Apparently that girl who sings at the church, who's at the choir, voted incorrectly, right? So imagine this. I think like when the referendum was, she was younger. So like a 16-year-old didn't have the correct answer on a referendum. So what the judges did at Eurovision, despite the fact that the public voted for her, they said, nay, like a horse, high on ivermectin. And they basically said, no, you're not allowed. You're not allowed. Okay. How is this not authoritarian democracy? So basically, you give people the illusion that they can vote. You give people the illusion that the system is based on what the public wants. And the public gets to have as long as the judges are happy. So as long as you vote the way the judges want you to vote, then it's perfectly fine. But the moment you vote incorrectly, then the judges step in and they say, yeah, like a horse high on ivermectin. Now, isn't this a perverse system where you give people the illusion that they have freedom and that they matter? Because at least in an authoritarian system, you know you're under the yoke. Like, you know your choice doesn't matter, nothing you say matters, it's all like what the leaders say, right? But here it's like giving you the illusion, oh, actually you do matter, actually we do care what you say, until they don't. And then they step in and say, well, we already stepped in once. By the way, how far deep the fascist tech tree do you need to go in order to ban a political party, huh? Because like you have to go deep down. Like first you have to ban freedom of the press, then you have to consolidate power. Like it's quite deep in the fascist tree when you genuinely like outright ban a political party. Can you imagine if in the United States they banned the Republican Party? It's unthinkable, isn't it? Like even in my country, it's unthinkable. Anyway, right, hopefully they don't do it. I hope that they're not, because, again, like, you have 24% of the voters that have to be represented. I would behave the same way if you banned the Greens. And by the way, look at this shit. The Greens with 12% want to ban something that's 24. Nice democratic system, what can I say? Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.